Okay. It seems we're live on Twitch. Let me check that. And I think I'm live also, although on Twitter. Let me check. Yeah. Yes. I'm live on Twitter as well. So this is a first. And on Twitch it's working also. So no problem here. Look like the stream is ready on the two platforms. So let me check again. Yeah, look like it's running also here, and just need to start on and it's already ready. It's now ready to stream, sorry, on Instagram. So let me check. So this is the stream on Instagram. So let me open it. Not this one, but this one. Okay. And I'm also live on Instagram. So where was I? Okay, let's reduce this a little bit. Okay, no problem. Okay, perfect. Hi everyone, welcome to this Codevember session number 7. I think, yeah, it's number 7. Today I'm trying something new. I'm using Restream.io, which is a good, which seems to be a good Restream platform, and the main idea is to taking my live from Twitch and to broadcasting also on Twitter in order to reach other viewers. So it's first for me. It's the first time I try to use Restream.io. It seems to be interesting, so yeah, why not? So I'm live on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram, as I said, and it's Codevember number 7, and I think I will start with the idea of the day. So for the one who's following me since the beginning, basically we're exploring body interpretation using Unity as a challenge for Codevember. So the main idea is to take an animated body, a walking body, from various sources, especially from Mixamo, and taking its rig position, also taking all the data from the skin mesh as it's walking. So this is the main idea, and to create some body interpretation from that. So this is the main idea. We made a different iteration from now, and I've said in the past few stream yesterday, which is this one. Okay, and yeah, basically instead of having these little tiles, because we don't need a lot of instances if we spawn rocks on the mesh. Here we have, I think, yeah, 20,000 instances of 20,000 styles around on the spawning on the shapes. And I think if we've made a rock man, it might be interesting to have less but bigger rock. And I had this idea of having maybe rocks changing size from the bottom to the top, so the rocks are growing from the bottom, then up, then less, etc., etc. Okay. I'm not sure if restream.io will work well, but why not? It seems to be offline. I don't know why. Let's check. Yeah, I think restream. Yeah. Okay, it seems to be live. It seems to be live. Oh, and I forgot to put some music for Instagram, so here we are. Okay, looks like we are online on the truth. I think it can be interesting to have some grass on the rocks. Anything goes. So Retrims.io looks like cool, but I think on my little computer on the side it was a little bit too not enough power to broadcast everything. So go back to Instagram. Okay. So this is a 3D model, and why, if I said I want something free, why do it always say that it has some not free model? Okay. Not quite sure if I want to use this one. So I said I wanted to check on Sketchfab, so let's check downloadables. I think I can have more filter. Yeah. Okay. Check if we can have multiple rock at the same time. Okay, why not? Why not using something like that? Let's check in this view, not the VR. Okay, ruggedness. Okay, we have the normal mop, no emission. I think I will go with this one. Okay. We can download everything, so I just need to click on everything. Yeah, seems like that. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, so I will remove everything from here and try to go in my download. Okay. And the texture. Okay. Going here. Okay, we have rocks. Perfect. First of all, as always, let's duplicate our scripts. So these three scripts, we need to change this one. Yes. So 07. I also need to change this one and say it's 07. Okay. Now let's try to implement our rookie man. For example, let's open the rocks. Let's take the first one. It's just a test right now, so okay. And if I click, okay, and now it's a little rocky man, but a little rocks, but I want to have bigger rocks, so as usual I will change the compute, and at first I will simply say that, let me disable this, and let's simply at first just bind the position, not the rotation. We don't change it on the compute side. Okay, so now our full little guy full of blocky elements. I want to have big blocks, so first of all, as I said, I want to have less, so let's say 100 elements, 100 instances, and I want to check the first scale, so let's spawn everything at scale 1. Okay, scale 1 is really big. So 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Okay. Which is again really big. 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay. Remember we go over the vert list, so of course we're only taking the first. If I take 10, I will take only the 10 first vertices. Okay, so if we want to try, I want various things to do at first. First of all, I think I will change a little bit our code here because we are spawning the instance along the vertices area, so I'm taking the index 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc, etc. So if I say I want 10 elements, it will be on the 10 first vertices, but I want 10 elements dispatched on random vertices. So first of all, I think I will change that. Next, I think although I will want to retrieve the color, the normal, etc, etc, so I will try to change the shader to get rid of this little purple color, and I need to restart my stream on Instagram. Really, I don't know why the stream on Instagram and on Periscope and everything are really some up and down. Twitch is really great, but Instagram, sometimes I need to relaunch it, sometimes I don't need to relaunch it. I start my stream only 13 minutes ago, so I don't know why it says it's finished, but no problem, we will restart it. So while it's restarting, let's create. Okay, it's ready to broadcast, so again, and I need to, okay, and I'm live now, back on it. So the shader also, I need to change it a little bit, so let's say this one. Let's start with the shader first of all. We will retake the color C, and we will say ramp is equal of C, no emission, no discard, and really I don't need this part also. Okay, no, on the materials I will create a new one, apply my element, oh, undefined UV here. I don't need the ramp right now, so no problem again. Perfect. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I need to reapply everything, so I've taken the rock one, so it's here, rock one. I haven't applied my new material, I think. Where is it? Material, yeah, we're taking the, okay, so now this is the rock. I also need to in the surface shader I need to add the normal, and I don't remember how is it, so I will take the example, and in the example it's, I don't know, yeah, the normal mapping. We have a texture here which is the bump map. We have the bump map here and we unpack it, so okay, no problem. We'll take everything from that. So main text, we have the ramp. Right now I don't think I will use the ramp again, but let's keep it that way. So the bump map, okay. I also need a UV bump map here, which can be bound automatically to our shader. So let's say something like that here. Now I need to unpack the normal directly inside here, so taking this and think something like that. So after the albedo I will directly unpack to the normal. Okay, so I need to set the normal to my shader. Does my normal is set? No, it's not set as a normal, so I will change everything and say to the editor that we are using the normal. Okay, so they are normal maps. Okay, then going back to the materials. Yeah, the materials are here, so okay. So now I need my roughness. Roughness is here. Metalness is 0, so 0. And now I think we will have what we need. Okay. And next, let's create a cute little random index, which will be int random index is equal to let's say matf dot, I think it's float to int, but I'm not sure. Unity, yeah, it's float to int. Apply. And this I take random dot value multiply by this -1. So now I can change this to my random index, and it's the same here. Why? Okay, I changed my script, but I don't use this one, so of course. And I think we've made also a mistake, so no problem by making this mistake. I've made a mistake. I'm overwriting the scene from yesterday, which is not good. Okay, so now on the 07, and let's going back here. Okay, going back to source tree to reverts. Okay. Do we let any change. No, it doesn't mean. Okay, so if I going back to sense 06 now, okay, so the sense 6 is back on track. Okay, so the script are ready, the elements are ready, so I need to say I want the GPU mesh controller 07, I want the compute 07 here, I want the material 07 here. Okay, for that it was 201 0101 0101 111. For the meshes, I was taking the rock 1, it's 151, I wanted 100 instance, I want this to be removed, and I want to apply my controller 07 here, so remove the component. Now I can save it and check. Okay, so now we have a start of a rocky element. So we have the normals, might seems to be good. The rotation seems to be a little bit too oriented, of course. So let's start with a random rotation, which was quaternion. I think I add some kind of this on the first one. Yeah, it was came from the earlier, so I will take this. The same. Okay. I don't need these parts. Okay, now it's better. Okay, and maybe we can simply change a little bit the size by saying the minimum size will be 0.5 and 0.25 as the max size. And because the size seems to be really random, I think I need to set the size as a uniform, so this will be a float now, although a float. And we will keep the model description. So min-max, xz. So it will be model description multiplied by the vector, by the float, sorry. Zero 5 0.15. Okay, so now we have this rocky man with 100 of elements. Let's say 50. 50. Okay. Okay. Do we want any animation on this? I'm not sure. Let's try the rotation, but I don't think so. And the scale also. I don't know why the element will scale down. Rocky animation is not. It can be interesting, but I think I've disabled this, so this is why it's jumping a little bit. So this is not interesting. And the jump come from this random pose which taking the loop. So if we simply get rid of this, we will not have this little loop. I think I will not go with a rotation. The scale, why not? Okay. Do we need to change the scale or not? I don't think so. During the day I'm really on the light. Okay. Yeah. So no rotation. So we don't need this. Okay. The scale, nah, why not? Okay, this one will use it. Now we're basically spawning the elements on the vertices, but maybe we can offset them a little bit. Okay, just to create more organic system. And as I said, might be interesting to try something like that. If I say +1 minus this, I might be end up with bigger foot, but it's not really interesting. Why? Because I haven't applied the scale. Okay, so now I want to simply try this. Okay, so as you can see now, we have big foot and not so yeah. I don't want a noise on this one, so again I will get rid of this and I will simply remap this on the curve. So now I can change the size depending on the position on the y-axis. Forgot semicolon here. Okay. Did I make an in-out quad or it's just an out? What happens if I say this? Yes. So if I say that, it would be like this. But if I simply say 1 minus, let's say the max size is 2, like 2 meter. Okay, so now I have bigger foot here. And if I change using a curve, cubic is quite cubic, quad, there is the expose, so just to check. Where is my easing function? There here, so I can use the exponential value for the curve. Circular, quintic, there is also the elastic, but the elastic is not quite interesting in our case. We can try the quintic. I think I will remap everything to at last, because my curve is going from 0 to 1, but okay, let's keep the cubic. The cubic was quite beautiful, I think. Okay, so now that I have the cubic, I can simply remap everything using linear interpolation. I don't want to be to 0 if my normal is 0, so let's say I want to be equal to 0.25, and let's say I want to be equal to 2 when my curve is 1, and we will use the norm y, which is the normalized position on the y-axis. And it's bigger. This is really a big blocky man. 2 might be a little bit too hard, I think, but why not? 1.85, let's see. Okay. At last, let's try this. Okay. This was what I had in mind at first, having some kind of big foot here and blocky things, etc., etc. Okay. Perfect. Let's try something else. So let's keep 50 elements for the moment. One thing I don't really like, it's we kind of recognize it's always the same shape. It looks like a golem, of course, but I think we recognize when it's always the same shape, so might be interesting. I think might be better to try to change the 3D model, so I know how to do that. It will be only some params, but I want to work on the aspect. So let's go back to the shader. I said we didn't need this part for the moment. I don't know if we will need this part for the moment, but I'm trying to thinking about the... Okay, first of all, we can change, of course, as always, the value of our texture based on the color of the elements, so why not? And I'm thinking about using an emission somewhere, but not sure where right now. Okay, so now I have some darker value for each one. Perfect. The second things I can try is different things. First of all, this one we will not use the color, so we have all the data available. So I think the first things we can try is simply going back to Photoshop and try to modify the texture to have not an orange rock, but more gray one. Hello Max. Yes, nice potatoes. It was rocks at first, but it's yellow rocks from Turbo Squid, so they are not quite beautiful. Okay, so in the model, rocks texture, this is the base color, so they look like potatoes. But if I say black and white, yeah, the infra might be quite good, I think. Okay, let's create a little script so I can batch everything. Fenêtre action. Okay, grayscale. I want to have black and white, and we say it was an infrared, which was quite interesting. And then I save everything on PNG. Okay, yes, and stop. So now I can create an automation. On the grayscale, I will displace all the image into the albedo folder. So I will only take the base color. So let's say I want everything name based in this folder. Okay. Okay, go back to the actual folder. And paste everything here. So okay. Destination folder. Okay. Rocks albedo, it will be on the same folder. Nom du document, extension, parfait. Okay. And let the script running. It seems to be done. So I don't know why my folder has not been it didn't save the image. Strange. So we use the rudeness. Okay, but automation. Okay. Scale. I want this to be 12. Okay. Okay, now it's good. Okay, so I can apply this to my materials, which is here, and say I don't want, so it's the color one. So now it's a Rocky Man. Perfect. Okay. And something we can try is to apply some kind of grass inside of it using a noise from the compute shader, so the grass might be going on the shape. So that's what I want to try right now. Okay, so going back to internet again, where is it? It's here. Let's say PBR free materials, free text, free materials, and this is this one, and this is C0 texture, and let's browse the assets. This is terrain, this is other something. Can I have I've browsed this, but I need to browse by category, I think. Might be better. So ground, well, maybe why not rock, just to check. I think I will find my texture in the mouse, I think. Look like enough green. The rock are good, but if I use some of these textures, I don't think they will apply, because as you know there is this UV coordinates here, so it wouldn't apply great on this. Underground. Most might be the best one. Let's try this. Okay. Perfect. Blah. Okay. Rename this. Delete these parts. Taking this. And the stream on Instagram has closed again. Again, another bot on Twitch promising me some followers. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, we are back. So the mouse texture has three elements. It has the ambient occlusion, it has the color, the displacement, the normal, the roughness. So I will try to add everything to my shader here, and I will add it. Okay, let's try something like that. So I will simply add a header here saying it's rock properties. I don't think it's work like that, but let's try. Yeah, rock properties. Okay, then no, this is the color, the maintain, the bump. I think we will not use the ramp, the glossiness, the maintenance, the roughness. This for something else. So this is not the rock, but this is the moss. So moss. Okay, and let's take the ramp and say here, and here we have right now others. Okay, so for the moss we have the moss RGB, it's the same. Okay, we also have the moss occlusion. Okay, occlusion. We have the moss. After the occlusion, we have the color, the occlusion. Yeah, I said occlusion, but it might be better to name it AO. AO, it's faster, so okay. After the AO, we have the displacement. I don't need it here, but the normal, yes. And the roughness. Okay. So we can say sampler 2D. So moss AO, sampler 2D, moss normals, sampler 2D, moss roughness. So the AO dino, so RGB occlusion AO normal roughness. So I need 5 texture. 1, 2, 3, 4. RGB normal roughness. RGB occlusion is the same as AO. So yeah, four textures. Okay. Okay. So this will be the color, the ambient occlusion, the normals, and the roughness. So let's take everything. I'll say something like that here. This is the MOS. So float mRGB will be equal to the text of the MOS RGB. Okay, and the MRO will be equal to MOS RO. This one is fixed for, this one is fixed for though. Then after the ambient occlusion we have the mrog, which will be equal to the same here, the MOS roughness. Then the M normal will be equal to the MOS normal. Okay, but this will be unpacked using the UV bump map. Okay, perfect. Now the albedo. We say this is RGB, which is equal to the main text. Then the fix for A roughness, rug. Then the A normal, which is this one. Okay. We can, although we have the roughness, so the roughness is here, but the metallic is 0, so no problem. Okay. Yeah, metallic is 0, so let's set this glossiness will be the value of our roughness here, dot R multiplied by the glossiness, if we want to try this. Okay, and A O dot RGB okay, and this is equal to RGB RGB. Okay, so if I'm correct, that might be, oh yeah, and I forgot the O dot normal, which is equal to the, as we said here, I don't remember if we kept the surface normal, unity surface shader normal, light normal mapping, the normal mapping, yes, and packed. So and I forgot not RGB but albedo. Okay, so it was like that. Cannot implicit convert. Yeah, it's, I think, a float 3 here and a float 3 here. And declare identifier here. So yeah, I've kept this, and this we don't need, so let's put this aside for a little bit. Okay, so basically this is our Rocky Man. as you can see, some rocks, it has some normals, so quite interesting. Okay, 0 as metalness. And if we want to try if everything is correct for the mosses, we can try this, something like that. So mRGB for the mosses. We can replace this by the mosses normal. I think if we want the ambient occlusion, I need to multiply this by this. The metalness is also the same, so no problem, and the ruggedness is this. So by saying that, I will have a full Moses element. So now it has some Moses in it, a lot of glossiness, yeah, but why? The metallic was set to 0 and the smoothness was set to rog.x. It's a simple value, I think. Multiply by the glossiness just to be sure. Okay, now it's better. We have some glossiness but not too glossy, so, and it's respond to this glossiness, so why not? As you can see, it's too much here, so okay. Maybe this, not sure. Inbody's ruggedness. That's the albedo. Okay. Turn ramp, no problem. The specular. Okay, seems good to me. Okay. So right now we have something like that. let's simply put this aside a little bit and try to say o.albedo is equal to in.color.rgb. So first of all, I want to dispatch a noise color just around the elements. So I've made a mistake here. So basically I want to use the noise to where did I make another mistake? In checker and mesh. Okay, so basically I think I want the noise on it, but I think the noise need to be something I think the noise need to be on this shader part. Something like noise of the UV plus an instance plus some variable. So let's try something like that. So in the compute we have the scale, we have yes, but we might use the data anyway. So let's include our noise function, which is here. And let's try something like that. Okay, float noise is equal to let's say something like s noise of in.uv main text and o dot albedo will be equal to this noise. So as you can see now we have some kind of noise. Okay, equal to this multiplied by 5 for example. So now we have some kind of noise on the elements. Okay, so we can use the noise to say we want to create on the albedo, for example, the dispatch the grass. So for example we can create a lamp. So I want in the white the rock, I want in the dark the grass. So now I can use this and say I want an interpolation. So in the dark I want the grass, so this is this multiplied by the NO or RGB multiplied by the color, and this will be based on the noise. Okay, for the normal it will be the same. We will use an interpolation between the normal from the grass to the normal from the rock using the noise again. The metallic we know it's always the same. The rudeness as we've made for the albedo, it's again a linear interpolation on the noise. So okay, so now it might end up with some kind of grassy blocks, grassy rock. Okay, so now we have some grass in the rock. So this is what I've had in mind, but every rock share the same I can say that, yeah, every rocks share the same UV, so the same noise, so it's look like quite the same. So I can basically pass some value to the data. So once again, what we know from this is that we're binding a random index here. So this is the index, so we can use this value. We're also binding a random value here, and last time on the y we used the norm time, but we can maybe send some time, and this will be simply a 0 value from now, or a noise 1. Maybe we can simply add some noise also. So this would be, so random color was what? Random color was purely a random, and I don't need this one. So I said the y-axis was the time, so the y-axis will be simply the time, which is offset, of course, and I can now use it in our shader. So the noise is this multiplied by 5. We can use in.data.x plus in.data.y plus in.data.z. So this is the index, this is a random value, and this is the time which running running increasingly. Oui, j'ai décidé de commencer plus tôt aujourd'hui pour profiter de la soirée après. En effet. Ok. So the time might be a little bit too fast for this. And now, as you can see, we can see the noise evolving. So of course we have some problem here. As you can see, it's jumping. I don't know why. It's jumping. Maybe we can fix the position in the compute to check it. Like it's jumping a little bit sometime. Yeah, as you can see. So we use, this is the index, this is the value, and I've used the time on the y, which is here. So this is the time. But the index doesn't change, so why does my time is jumping? Don't know. Let's try by saying this multiplied by 0 and this multiplied by 0. Check what happens. It's moving without any jump. Maybe we can simply use the time, in fact. Maybe the int value stored in the y-axis of the, in the x-axis of my element. So as you can see, we have this jump here. Okay. So let's only keep, we can only keep the time and reduce its speed a little bit. So as you can see, it's moving quite slower now. Okay. We can also add some easing, because our fade in the grass might be a little bit too too smooth. So I'm adding my easing function here, and easing cheat sheet, let's say it. And what kind of easing do I want? Maybe some kind of in-out. I think in-out quint might be good. In-out quint, not the cubic, but or the cubic. I will use the in-out quint. So okay, so our noise will be simply, so let's say noise is equal to in-out quintic of this noise. Okay. Merci beaucoup du compliment. Bah écoute, je suis content que déjà je suis content que tu y jettes un œil, c'est cool, et content de voir que ça rend bien. J'espère que ça rendra tout aussi bien aussi à la fin du stream. Yeah, so the quintic is better for the distribution, I think. Maybe a little bit too, I don't know, I can say that, yeah, maybe too sharp. So we can try the cubic to get more fade in the grass. Yeah, a little bit more fade in the grass, it's better. So maybe we have too noise on it, so I need to reduce a little bit this one by an half, for example. Okay, something like that. And reactivate, where is it? Reactivate in the compute the transform. Okay. So we are nearly done our system, so I think this one is good, but there is still some things I want to explore. First of all, I want to add some lights in it, and there is a beautiful project, some beautiful projects, there is a lot of one. The first one is this, I think it was from AntiVJ, but I'm not sure which. Let me check on my Pinterest. I think I've made it in Pinterest. I don't know if it's AntiVJ or 1024 Architecture, which is a beautiful and a great studio. I think it's them. They've made a beautiful movie. It's not this one. This one is a fully particle one. There is a movie where there is some lights running on shapes, and although of course there's also Joanny Le Mercier and again the last one is Universal Everything. So yeah. So, do I have some mapping here? I think it was a mapping. So yeah, interactive mapping. Okay. So let's say Universal Everything. First of all, because I know there have some reference here. Maybe AntiVJ, but I'm not sure because AntiVJ is really an old studio made by Joanny Mercier. But yes, this was them. Dry Light. This was their project. So Dry Light. AntiVJ Dry Light. Oh, dry light. Okay, experimental film dry light, Xavier Chassin from Anti-VJ. Okay, so this film, so it was not Mill Cat Architectures, but again, and by team, I think it is in research. Universal Racing made, of course, they don't talk about some confidential research on they made for clients. Future, I think it's it's new form. So it was in Screen in the Futures. They've made a rock. Yes, this one. As you can see, a rock which is which has some lights going from a side from another, and we can see it in the movie. So this was one of my references for these experiments. Where is it? So this is architectures. Yes, this is this. So it might be quite interesting to have some lights running on our blocky man. Kind of this one of experiment, and this one is really inspiring. So let me pause Spotify. So it's Xavier Chassin, and if I remember correctly, the main idea is to highlight some natural elements on the scene. And a lot of motion design, even today, use this film as a reference. We've seen one at the studio this week for Dom Perignon, which has basically the same system. Yeah, you know this light. This is quite beautiful. So yeah, I think you've understand the idea of this reference is what I want to make on our little blocky man is making some kind of lights going inside of each blocks, and for that I think we will use our noise, but so we made this noise, okay, but it will be for the emission, especially for the emission, so why not? So we have this noise, which is a noise from 0 to 1, and we also made this, which was quite interesting. So this was a way to create some kind of line in our noise, so maybe we can simply reuse it. We've made it few stream ago. I think it was 2 stream ago. So this is the noise for the emissive. So we have the point emissive, so this is a position, a thickness, and this is the noise we bind to it in order to check. So maybe we can simply bind a noise. So let's say this will be e noise will be our noise just before it's passed to the easing function, because I don't want the noise to be eased for this one. Okay, maybe we can try this. So let's simply use the noise emissive for the emission, multiply by its multiplier. Let's try something like that. Look like Unity struggle to compile everything. So this one I can say this. I can delete these pages and these pages again, because you had some 3D running inside it. Okay. So the shader seems to be compiling quite well. Let's just let Unity simply recreate everything. Okay. Does it work or not? Maybe we will need a curl noise for this one to have really beautiful curled value, but hey, why not? Look like it's working. So as you can see, we can have some lights, and if I want to change it a little bit, I can simply change. So this is the position of our light in the noise, as you can see. So if I want to be on the gray value, this is the smoothness, of course, and this is the thickness of the light. If I want to have a light really thick, okay, and the multiplier for the blue, okay. But the noise looks like, I don't know, I cannot say that, but yeah, for me it's not really interesting right now. Too many noise in it, and it's really following, because it's the same noise, so it's really following the grass, so it's create this kind of edge on this part. So I think I will change and create a new noise for that, which will be this. So if we use this, so where is it? It was called e-noise, so let's say float e-noise. Okay, and maybe I want something more distributed, so I will need to reduce again a little bit. This is my time, so maybe I can again offset a little bit using some instance value. Or not, I don't know why. Not sure if I will use this one. Let's try this. I will need to increment the time, I think. Okay. Something we can use in order to change a little bit is making the noise dependent to the height of the instances, and I think we have that because in the shader I've made something like that. As you remember, we have this value which is the position of the original, in fact, position our instance, and maybe we can use this position and again normalize it and try to change the noise a little bit. So let's try that. Again, I think first of all the noise is a little bit too much right now, so yeah, this is more the kind of noise I want. So now I can reduce this thickness emissive a little bit, something like that. Okay, so look like some lights are going on the shape. Okay, quite interesting. And if I want something really noisy, I can say something like that, but I will need to increase a little bit the size. So why not? So let's start for something really visible to check. Then we will try to say for norm y again is equal to in dot oppose. I think it's oppose. I made it yesterday. Yeah, it's oppose dot y divided by 2 to check if the elements are higher than 2 meters. So okay, and now I will need to check something like that. So how can I say that? Because we have this line, sure, no problem. It might be the position or not, I don't think so. I think I will need to create some kind of multiplier based on the same thing like that. So something like really something like that, in fact. So float y mask, we can say something like that. Okay, and let's check. Not sure, but let's try. Okay, so now at last I will need to say that this will be class multiply by the mask. So as you can see, now it's only applying on one part, and if I change the point emissive, it might move a little bit. Okay, so I need to create proper value for that. A value we can use is the time that we passed here, but I think I found which value I will pass to the W. This will be the time per instance. Okay, but this will be our global time. Okay, so basically in the x y z, so in the z component I will pass now the time. Okay, so this is the time which is passed here and going now here. So I can now say something like that. So let's first of all say this is the time. So the time is in dot data dot z instead of the point emissive. So here we are. Okay, so we can now try this. Whoa, really not what I had in mind at first. Why does it came from this? So yes, and if I pass the time to data.w, did I use data.w somewhere else? Data.w, nowhere here. But if I pass somewhere else, yeah, I use as the random per instance. And I've said I didn't want to pass this to the data.w but to the data.z, because data.w is already in use. So as you can see, now it's moving up and down, so no problem. But I need something like a rotating, so we can use only the fractional parts of it. So let's say fract. So let's say float hy point is equal to the fractional number of data.z. So I can now change everything like that. So this will be this and this will be this. So of course I know the shader in Unity already has a time value which is bind every time during the update, so it's basically rewriting the time value. I know that, especially per instance, etc, etc. But something interesting here is if we want to change the edge point by binding another function, another value per instance, for example, like an original position, like some kind of noise per instance, etc, etc, to create some difference inside each instance, it might be easier to setting up from the compute shader than directly using the time here and need to rechange everything if we want to make some kind of difference. So now it will move faster, but so as you can see it's flash a little bit. So okay, why not? We can change the speed of it. Okay, and of course I need to change these little variables here in order to create its ones variables. So the ramp right now we will use it later, I think. So let's say the ramp is here. So the emissive multiplier, the smooth emissive, the thickness, the point emissive, and the emissive multiplier, I don't think I will use it somewhere else. Yeah, I don't use this one. Okay, so let's simplify a little bit. Okay, so this is the first global noise, of course, and I will need some kind of smooth and multiplier again. So this with the smooth y, and point y. Okay, so smooth y, emissive y, and point y. We can create an header. So this is the emission lines, the noise emission lines, and this will be the y edge on noise emission lines. Okay, so I've used this value here without the point emissive, and this one are using the y value. Okay, and now I can say thick y, smooth emissive, thick emissive, and smooth emissive. Okay, I think it's better now, right now. And the mask, I can apply point y emissive multiplier again. So I made a mistake, like an undeclared emissive mul somewhere else. Point y emissive mul. Okay. So the multiply will be 1, of course. And now we can change, let's say we want half of the value and the smooth of half, for example, so we will have a global light. So as you can see, now it's globally illuminated, and I can change it a little bit, and I can change also the thickness. So if I say something like that, so a thickness of 25, for example, in order to get multiple elements. Okay, and fade it a little bit, 0.1 for example. So now it's fading, and it's basically based on the 8, so it's not a problem. And if I want less edge, so okay, let's smooth. If I don't want it to pop, I can create my fractional number less than 1, so I can simply say it's divided by, yeah, I can say it's divided by, multiplied by 2 minus 1 to try this. Okay, I can create, I think the multiplier will not be here, the multiplier will apply here, so the multiplier will use the speed, and it will be not a point y emissive multiplier, but a point y speed multiplier. So let's change the name here, point y speed multiplier, point y speed multiplier, point y speed multiplier, and let's say something like that. And I said I wanted to change the time by remapping it from -1 to 1, so from 0 to 1 to -1 to 1, just to have this kind of appearance. So yeah, now it's going up, it's appearing, disappearing, etc., etc. Maybe we need to scale it a little bit, and I don't, maybe we can change, we can create a noise, not a noise, an easing on it. So let's ease this value a little bit by using an in-out quad, for example. So as it's a fractional number, the in-out quad will work perfectly, and I can now simply remap the value using a linear interpolation, so no problem. And why I want to remap this value, basically when my value is 0, the lights, it's kind of popping, you know, because you see the thickness plus the smoothness. So I need to go to a value which is below this edge, so I need to go a value below 0, so this value plus the thickness plus the smoothness will be below 0. And also when I'm arriving to 1, I need to be what can I say? Yeah, I need to be up because I need the value on the final of the edge, which is the value minus the thickness minus the smoothness, this edge to be 0. So this will be, of course, the thickness plus the smoothness multiplied by -1. So this is my edge below 0, and this is my edge upper 0. And we will have some kind of moving elements. It's kind of disappearing after that. Oh yeah, because I need to say 1 plus, so I need to 1 plus this value. So of course I was not going to this part. So as you can see, we have a little speed up in this function. So now it's interesting. Okay, I can now define on the noise. We can create a new value here, which is the noise complexity. Okay, you can say like that, noise complexity or octave or anything like that. But so this will be a range between 0 and 1, and let's say something like not a range, a number, in fact, simply a float. Okay, and this float will be, let's say, 0.25 as earlier, so it will go here, float this, and basically this value will go on the multiplier of our noise here. Okay, okay, so what it's doing right now, it's just help me to, if I want to curl a little bit the noise, I can say no, not the smooth emissive. I'm moving the good value. Okay, okay, so if I want to get more complexity in the noise, I can increment this. So let's say 1.5 for example, which was earlier. Okay, and now we can reduce a little bit as earlier the thickness, and the smoothness also, because I need to have a little bit of value in it. So this is quite interesting. It has some light in it. The light is moving, so no problem. Maybe we can increase a little bit the speed of the light moving on it, so because we see the up and down, but we need to also see the noise moving along. Yeah, it's better. And at last, as I said, we had a ramp somewhere, so this is here, and we can use this ramp and get rid of these little elements for the alpha. So get rid of this, and we can simply now use this ramp, which was that. And again, so we use what? We use the data here for the ramp. Why not? But now the data are not the same everywhere. So Here I use the data.y, but I know that the data.y now is the time per instance, so might be interesting, but I'm not sure. Okay, and I think I will use for the ramp only one value, so it will be float 2. It will be 0.5 for the x because we will stay on the x and we will go to norm y directly, so the color will depends on the y-axis, on the y position of the mesh. So incorrect number of argument, where is it? So float 2 here. Okay, and I can multiply this by that dot RGB. Okay, and because we have the ramp here, it might be working pretty well. And now you can see it has some color. I don't think it's might be good, but maybe we can simply bind different, let's say different color. Where is it? Where are my textures? Yeah, so controller, the mat is here, so okay, let's try to bind different elements. As you can see now, it's blue, some reddish, I'm not sure I want to use something like that. I think something like that might be interesting. Some kind of orange value. So let's try that. You might find some directly here. Might be interesting to use some iridescent one. Let's see what happened, just to check what's happened if we use this one, for example. Can we activate the sound, because I don't have any music here? Okay, so this, and now here I can bind this one. Kind of like this. Might be a little bit too purple on this part, but maybe we can keep this kind of value and try to offset a little bit to the orange. Okay, and this a little bit more here. Okay, and create a new ramp. Let's say this, save. Okay, I'll create another one which have less saturation on it. Okay, let's try 29. 29. 19. 19 is interesting, but maybe we can have more white in it. I think 20 is better. Okay, so now I need to simply change a little bit something. So I want to have different kind of rocks. Okay, so I will need to have, if I want different kind of rocks, I need to have different meshes on it, and something can be achieved by simply applying different things. Why everybody is talking now? What does he want? Road check, and how do you come back? No more, no more, no more, no more. Read the road check. No, they come back no more. Okay. So yeah, as I said, I want to apply. Let's say I want 5 elements. So let's say I want to spawn different kind of rocks. So not the same mesh everywhere. So here it's the same mesh. So basically the first idea would be to duplicate this and say, yeah, why not? Let's duplicate that one. Let's create a copy of this component and let's paste it as new. So I will have 2 scripts running the same things. But you will see here that I only have, again, 5 elements. So why? Why don't get 10 elements? Because I have my 2 scripts here having 5 elements and 5 elements. The main problem here comes from our compute shader, which is not an instance one. Let me explain. Basically here we take the compute shader. Where is it? Compute here. So basically we take the compute shader and we create it, and then we applied everything. But it's created by Unity and it only has 1 instance, and if I use 2 scripts, the second script will override the first one. So I need to instance this shader, and I've made this. I found this on Unity forum, and this is really useful. There is a way to, of course, change it. So I've made it on a project for the Nuit Blanche this day. Okay, so in the library, assets, scripts, animals, GPU Fauna controller. I think this is one. There is something called instance somewhere. Yeah. So first of all, we need to add this little line saying that our compute shader will now be an instance of this compute shader. So we can have multiple compute shader running at the same time. And now if I say OK, I will have, I think it will solve our problem. So if I want 1 here and 1 here, for example, why do I have only 1? Let's say I want 4 and 4. I'm starting considering there is a mistake in my code. Let me check. Instantiate compute shader. Oh, of course I've instantiated, but I didn't. I need to change this. So I need to get every element. Okay, so get all components of type in Unity. This will return an array, so why not using that? Okay, so now I need to find var from GPU mesh controllers, and we will get every object of type GPU mesh controller. Okay, and now I can say something like that. For each GPU mesh controller in from GPU mesh controller, this is equal this. Okay, let's try this. Instantiation seems to be working. Okay, so I can do the same here by saying this. Okay. Okay. The name, of course, I need to create this var as a private. So this will be that, in fact. I think it's something like that. Okay, and now it doesn't work. So why it doesn't work? Let's try something like that. debug.log. How many elements did it found? It has found 2 elements, so okay. This is clearly instantiate, so no problem here. And why? Let's try to add a new model just to be sure it's changing. So here in the rocks, I will use the second one here. Yeah, now I have 4 elements, so it's basically working, so no problem here. 2 elements. So let me just light my room. Okay, better like that. Okay, so we have nearly finished now. We have the way to instantiate a lot of different elements. Okay, so now I have 4, as you can see. and if I say something like 15 here and 15 here, it's basically a Rocky Man completely explode. Why it's completely explode? Hmm. Why is it fully explode here? I don't know why. The name GPU mesh controller is here. So what the problem here? It's already exists. Oh yeah, I need to say something like that. Private this is this. Okay. Okay. So this was working. But when I'm using difference, and when I say this, it will be okay, so no problem. So we have our blocky man, sure. And now if I say that, we have our second blocky man, so no problem again. But when I apply this, and I say this for this, and this for every it's fully explode. Why it's fully explode? If I say that, let's say this will be commented and this is will be commented. Okay. Notice. Do we need to say something like that? For when I equals 0, I less than this dot length and I plus plus. this is equal as by, so this is equal to this. I really don't understand what's happened here. Look like the first one is good and the other one is fully exploded. So for example, let's say the first one will be red, the second one will be green, it might be come from the, no, it doesn't come from that. Maybe it's, I need to create a new material. Okay. Now I only have one of two. Let's say 5. Yeah. It's fully explode. Why it's fully explode? Let's go into everything. So let's say this is the 8, and I will use a new shader. So this is this one. Maybe the shader are a little bit confused. Okay. So if I want 10 elements here and 10 elements here, let's open our compute. I will not use this. No randomness inside. So the first one is good and the second one is really fully explode. Why? And if I put this one here just to see if it depends on the, no, it's not depending on this element, so basically it might be coming from this. Does it come from the compute shader itself or not? If I say I want 50 elements here and here, I think the problem might come from something else. I'm starting thinking the problem might come from the 3D models, so let's try to open it, and I'm sure it will come from that. Because let's check if I want to use the same 3D model, which was, I think we have a pivot problem directly on the model. I was thinking about a problem on the compute shader, but I'm really not sure right now. Yeah, it's not a problem on the compute. Okay, so it's basically a problem directly on the rocks. Okay, so we need to reopen every rocks and try to see if the pivot is correct. So basically this ID simply work. So we can create multiple instance of a compute shader directly here, as I said. So we instantiate this. I can reactivate this, for example, and I can reactivate the randomness also. Okay. So when you have instantiate your compute shader, you can use them. You can use the compute shader multiple times, again and again and again. And in my controller, I get every object with the of the type GPU mesh controller. So in Unity, if I again duplicate the same here, saying I want to copy and to paste as new, it's the same, but it will be blue. So every blue, so we will need to see, we will see blue rocks, red rocks, and green rocks. Okay, so this is my debug system. Okay, so red, green, blue, they're always the same, so I choose the same materials, for example here, and the same mesh. And if I say play, everything seems to be set, so no problem. So looks like it's working. Let's say 4, 4, and 4. Okay. Something strange. If it's the same, why do I don't have? Does it take the same random value? When I've disabled everything, it was this. I only see the red, but where are the blue and the... Okay. Oh. Code member, assets, model, rocks. It was the rocks too. So where is it? Where is the pivot? Yeah, the pivot is basically far away, so no problem. Okay, so now I understand the problem. So I will need to reset the pivot. Apply, okay, reset PSR. And I think why I've made this, I might find a way to say I need different materials, which basically is what I need because I need to use different textures, so no problem. So yeah, okay, red, green, blue. So I need different materials for this, because instead, if I use one materials, the material is shared over the GPU, so it will not be the correct system. So if I want to use every rock, I will need to save them all. So let's save this OBJ as the same rock. This will be the rock 2. Okay. So rock 2 is okay. So rock 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay. And this one seems to be really far from its pivot point. Oh my god, that's why sometimes I don't like to download mesh from. Okay, do we are in this good place? No, the top view seems to be, the left view seems to be different. So okay, apply, reset, save, export. Okay, this one is ready. I don't want to save this one. This one is also really far from its original point, so let's put this one here, let's put this one here, apply, disable, reset. Are we in the good spot? Yes, we are, no problem. File, export, obj rock 9. Okay, don't save. Why does designers don't set their pivot point at the original point? Apply, reset. Okay, file, okay. Maybe it's because think if the pivot point, if every object has local position, has a position based on the world, if we open everything on the scene, we will see a beautiful dispatch rock. I don't know, maybe it's that, but basically it's a pain in the ass. Okay, don't save. Put this one here. Okay, maybe a little bit higher. Apply. Okay, reset and save. Okay, rock obj 6. Yes, don't save. Apply, reset, file, export. I'm not a pro in Cinema 4D, so maybe there is a way to do that quickly, maybe by setting up a script that can do the reset PSR position. But as every shape, every rocks has a different world position, I think it not be possible, because we will need to analyze all the vertices, find the average position, put maybe find the average vertices, taking all the vertices, find the average vertices, subscribing this average position to the all vertices to reset its original position to 0. Might be a solution, might be a trick. Maybe we can do that. I know it's possible to code in Python, using Python in Cinema 4D. I never do that. I never done that, sorry. I really don't know Python, but might be a good start somewhere to find a way to really program something inside Cinema 4D. Oh my, this one is really far away. Okay, this supply. I only start using Cinema 4D since I think 3 years, only for little bits of project, animation, etc, but I'm not really as good as someone who is motion designer on daily basics. So Okay, again, reset PSR. My. Usually this is the part where everyone are cutting the stream because it takes too long to reset every PSR for all the objects. We only have 12 objects, so okay, but I didn't know if... Oh, I think we've done. Yeah, we've made everything. Okay. Yay! So let's create a new folder here, which will be named mat 1107, because I will store all my 1107. Let me just say with an underscore. So I will put every my 07 here, and now I can name this one as 0, delete this one, and create some duplicates. We have 12 of them. Not sure if I will use the 12 elements, but why not? Okay, so now direction to the model. The Moses is always the same, so there is no problem in that. Let's create a new folder. I will name this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, whoopla, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, I don't think I will use all the rock model inside this Rocky Man, but again, I want to create all materials because maybe it could be for someone who is downloading the repository later, it might be useful to have all the rocks ready, all the materials. So if you want to change it, it will not need to understand every part of it. So for the two, the base color is this, the normal is this. Why does it doesn't want my cursor has said a big no? I don't know why. Why is it a no? Did I make something? Maybe I made something. So let's say Unity hub and reopen our code vember. Don't know why. The cursor simply passed from the arrow to a warning one. And we're back on this. So need to go to the 07 with my tree controller, no problem, and all my materials which are here my rocks, and I was on the rock 2. So the rock 2, I want this, and the ruggedness rock 3, this is the color, this is the normal, this is the ruggedness. Rock 4, color, normal, ruggedness. 5, color, normal, ruggedness. Color, normal, ruggedness. A better way to do this part would be to simply create an array of materials and create a new materials for each GPU controller, and create an array for each texture and binding everyone directly from the list. But you know what? Why not? So this is the 6, okay. The 5, the 6, okay. So I was on the 7 now. 7. Okay. 8. 9. Blah. 9. Okay. 10. We've nearly done this part. Next part would be to create all the controllers, all the instance controllers. So okay, okay, and okay, and at last this, and this. So now in the controller for the 1, 2, 3, I can say this one will be the material 1, material 2, and material material 3. I can also attribute its shapes. So this will be group this, but this will be from rock 2. Okay, so this is the 1, this is the 3, and if we launch it, we now have our blocky man. And again, I need to reapply all the transformation from the compute which is here. Okay. And now we have our blocky man. Of course, it's red and white, red and green and blue right now, so I need to reapply everything. Let's say some gray value. Okay, this, and I want some gray, which is this. Okay, white and gray. If I start by simply saying I want 25, 25, and 25 elements, for example, you can see now I have a full blocky man with different kind of shapes, and again it's running quite smooth. So this will be our little golem. Right now, again the stream has cut on Instagram, so let's finish it. So let me relaunch the stream for Instagram. Apply. Okay. Now we will be back in few seconds. Okay, we are back online. So where was I? Yeah, I was checking some rocks. So this one we've used it. We've used also this one, and we use this one. We have a lot of different rocks here, but I don't think I will use them. I've made 3 controllers with 25 elements for each, which give us this golem, kind of golem. I'm starting thinking about changing a little bit the 3 elements, especially the smoothness and metalness. So maybe the smoothness can be 0.25 for example, just to have more, as you can see, more light in it. Oh no, I'm not sure. The idea is to try to cut the dark area. Another way to cut the dark area is to simply, so disable this. Yeah, I think a better way to cut the dark area would be simply by changing directly in our shader, which is here, the emission by just adding a little bit of our let's say 10% for example of our RGB. So something like O dot emission will be plus equal, let's add a little bit of metalness inside of it, or not, I'm not sure. Yes, 10% for example, or not. No metalness, no, but we can simply use the albedo multiply by 10% for example. So 10% of the albedo as the emission, to add an emission just to cut a little bit the dark area. So as you can see now, it's less dark. I think a problem comes also from the fact. So this is 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2, and the 2 has not the good value. Okay, so this is why I add an error on the texture. So it really looks like right now of a, can I say that? Yeah, it's more game. It's more gamey. So I don't want to be too gamey as a design. So I think we can use another instance with more shape and more another model with more shapes and more beautiful elements. So for example, something like that. Let's try to find something on, maybe on Sketchfab. Because Sketchfab has a lot of 3D scan models. So let's say rock. I want something downloadable. not found the but thing like that, or like that, or like that. Something more rocky. I kind of like when a user has multiple elements inside the same. So this one is really too, you will see when, when it loaded, yeah, it's really too gamey. This one, why not? This one also interested, rock 10. This one is really interesting. A lot of variation, a lot of micro informations. Rock 10. It's compatible with Unity, so why not? Might be quite interesting. Yeah, I think I will go with these ones. Looks like it's compatible with Unity, so why not? Let's download the 3D models. Okay, so I want the obj. I will do the same for this one. Okay. I'm already logged, so might not be a problem. Okay. Rock 17. Yeah, again. So there is a CC attribution, so let's go back here, and when all the rocks are ready, I will create a file to say where was I? Okay. So we have the rock. I will show in Explorer, and I will say a new folder which I will call rocks 2. Rename this rock underscore 2. I use underscore as a divider, so no problem. Okay. So this is the source, this is the texture, so okay. Seems quite interesting. So rock 1 and rock 2 and rock 3. Okay, let's go in rock 1, which is this one. I will put the source and the texture. Okay, then we've download rock 20, rock 17 and rock 16. So rock 17 will be my rock 2. Okay, and rock 16 will be my rock 3. Sure, okay. It has a ruggedness, it has normals, it has UV coordinates, so looks, to me it seems it will be good, but let's check. So this is the texture, so looks like, oh, it has a now texture, so why not? Internal ground, yeah, it was for the ground, I think. If you want to use this, oh, yeah. I think the texture for internal ground is if we want to put on the ground. Okay, so now that everyone is here, let's show in Explorer and decompress the source here. Oh, the source has also the elements, so why not? Okay, rock 1. I want to go to rock 2. Okay, and rock 3 here. Okay, perfect. And now I will create a new document text which will be equal to licensing, and I will say rocks models come from Sketchfab user, and my user is, where is it, Glensgeisen. So thank you, Kless. And here's the link to Glensgeisen. Let Unity create everything. Okay, so now we have everything. So in the source, this and this, remember, are normal textures, so these are normal maps. So let's do that. Let's create new materials, so this will be folder rocks 1. Oh, it's called rock 2, a subfolder for rock 2, yeah, why not? Okay, so it will be mat rock 2 1, rock 2 2, and rock 2 3. Okay, so this is the base color, this is the normal, and this is the ruggedness. Base color, oh, apply. Base color, normal, ruggedness. Base color, normal, and ruggedness. Okay. And now in the controller, my first one will be rock 2 1, rock 2 2, and rock 2 3. Then I need to bind the model. So model 1, model 2, and model 3. So we might end up with a big mesh. It depends on the scale it has at first, but oh, we have the same pivot problem. So don't rely on mesh which are not tested before. Going back to my C4D elements, but it's really beautiful, this mesh. Okay, so here we are going back to this C4D, and this is my elements. So this is rock 3, let's check. And it's far away from its pivot. My. I was hoping it was great. We can also try to change the orientation, for example, for this pivot, saying that this will be D8, for example. Apply. And now we have this rocky. Yes. Maybe we can set the pivot like the pivot will be like a gravity point. So I thought it would be more on the base. Okay. So this one is good. We can override it. Perfect. Then we go to rock 2, which seems to be also oh no, rock 2 seems to be on this proper position, but we can a little bit rotate everything. So let's check. Yeah, something like that. So maybe we can just rotate something like this. With that PSR, going a little bit here, say okay. With that PSR, it seems to be good for this one. Okay, and the last would be rock 2-1, which is this one. Which is again far away from its pivot. Okay, might be more like this. There's something more like that. Apply. Okay, reset. And it seems to be okay to me. Okay. Replace. Okay. Let Unity change everything. Relaunch this. Okay. So now we have our Rocky Man, which seems for me quite good, but the scale is not good. So two things. We can change the scale directly in our code, so in 3 place, or simply change the input factor here by saying I want maybe change the shape by multiplying by 10. Too big. Too big, the 10. 5. Darling. .5. The rocks are better, in fact, and you can see it works smoothly. We have a 75 instance, which is not big, but we have instance with a lot of mesh, so this is quite good. So yeah, now we have our blockman, which is more interesting right now. So we might be able to change, of course, the size. So let's say 0 1 0 1 0 1. I prefer now to change here because it's more dependent to the program. 0.075, 75, 0.75. Okay. The Rockman is better right now. It's kind of believable, I think. In terms of places, shapes and everything. Maybe it's a little bit too yellow. It might come from the post-process. Let's disabling the threshold for the color grading, for example, just to check. We can increase a little bit its global emission. I will create a new value which is the global emission here. Global emission. Okay, and this will be a float value. And this go here, and with I think we can use the Luma function, which is here. So it will be better. Yeah, this is better. So yeah, because this was the problem with my system. The rock seems to be too yellow, but I think it was because I have this emission also emitting some yellow on it. So if I change a little bit this, I can add a little white. I'm not sure if the white is the good value. Where our materials are here, and now if we change the global emission, something like 0.1, I think it's better now. There's a little emission on it. Maybe the emission is quite too big. Okay, what kind of texture do we have here? Can create an albedo from the ruggedness, for example. So I have the ruggedness here, and I can simply say this multiplied by the ruggedness Might be interesting, that RGB. So as you can see, now we have more detail. Where our guy? Where is our little guy? He has disappeared. Oh yeah, because I say pause here, so okay. So now we have our little guy here, and as you can see, the rock seems to have more details on it, so this comes from the ambient occlusion, so might be interesting. Do I want to keep this brownish? I'm not sure. Listen, baby. So why does the back of this head is too no, the back of the head is quite good. Minimal size is quite small. So if the size is quite small here, maybe I can say it would be 0.35 to change a little bit. So now we have a golem with a bigger head. Of course we have only one main light, but we can put a lot of different light on it, so this is the problem. We light the scene on the... We also have a, of course, an environment mapping, but without color grading, with color grading is better. Let's try something just to play a little bit with it. I will duplicate these lights. This will be rename a PT light, and this will be, of course, not a directional but a point. Okay. Let's say range by 3. And now, rock bottom. Want to try that just to see what's happened if I put some light on it. Might be interesting to have some kind of light which can override a little bit the side, so you know, some kind of bluish color, a little bit white, which creates some kind of rim light. I think it's bring more depth to the... Okay. Let's try to see on the scene without the gizmo. I want something like... I think this would be good enough as a light. 1.5, okay. I think point light is better. So I copy this component in order to paste it here. Okay. Maybe I need to just up a little bit the point light. Okay. Look like our man has not been Did I change something or not? It looked like it was perfect, but now it doesn't have any difference. I think it's because the point light need to be bigger. This is the plane. Maybe I can change this layer. Let's say it could be a ground layer, and say the main light, the point light would be cutting the ground. Okay, so 3. Looks like I need to set the point light. something like that, something here for example. Okay, the stream on Instagram has again closed, so as we are in the end of this stream, I will stop the stream from Instagram, so no problem, but I will continue on this part. Okay, seems good for me. I copy this component. I need to pass this value here and to say okay to this, and this will mark the end of the stream as we finish our little golem guy, and I'm quite happy with this one. He has some rim light. We have spawned a lot of different elements, so great job as always. Okay, so this